Hi, Danielle Fowler here, Mad Child Dennis. So we're going to talk about the last one. How I found out I'm going to get funded because it's no longer $10 million. It's not even 25 million, as I mentioned, it's the last digit. God said I'll be the beneficiary of a certain literature, and the value was increased based on the pastor's vision. He said he got our dream. Is it's a 30 something million, and I don't know what's the value right now. And that's what I'm moving with, because God didn't say it's increase, and now it's just not a number anymore. But how? How did I know? How did God reveal that? So what you've learned is a lot of things have been happening at the same time. But let's rewind, because why would God give me some chunk of money unless it's for a purpose, right? So you may have watched how God said I'll be Miss World. God said I'm married. But then in the Miss World one, you see a vision where I'll be having a production company and a clothing store. And on top of that, a marriage. Just boom, I'm already married. You need money, and God asked me not to work for a while. And that's for the point. This funding is to fund these things and more. So, how? No, let's rewind. As I said, I remember over the years, I always say, I want to have a production company. I want to do acting, but I want my own company. I want to build, and eventually started saying I want to do it in Jamaica. So when in 2019 I didn't get into Miss Jamaica World, I was frustrated. But when I started just being there, 'cause I know I'm supposed to be there, I just be there, and I started realizing, being there, I discovered I want to build my production company in Jamaica, and I want to create Jamaican films that's authentically Jamaican. The patois, everything. Show the culture to the world and to Jamaica, because Jamaicans are just getting a lot of American stuff, and a lot of children who are feeding on these things don't know a lot of Jamaican things. Even I don't know a lot of Jamaican things, and I was raised here, and I was just like, we need to start creating films. Yeah, we have theater. You have the I don't remember the theater house, but point is, they have that, and that's a big thing, and it's nice. It's funny, we never get to go there at any point yet, and I want to. But film needs to be there, and it needs to come back. It needs to be bold, big, and whatever. Anyways, over the years, I grew on this and so on, and then in 2020, before I was me alone here, my parents decided to drive around Jamaica. We take one end and then we did the other end when we were going on a different location. And I remember distinctly driving in a different town or city. And that's before I go there. In 2019, when I started getting the idea to build production company in Jamaica, I was like, we're in Jamaica. And I thought Portmore, because I was like, Portmore is very popular. It could be like Hollywood. So Vibes Cartel already promoting Portmore, so might as well the Hollywood of Jamaica could be in Portmore, and there's this flat area that could build it. It's like, yes, Portmore. And I thought there, and I thought not just Portmore, somewhere in catching leading from Portmore to go up. And I was like, yeah, this up. Then I talked about it, and then I realized I feel like I ratted myself out, and I was like, no. For some reason, I still liked it, but it's just like, no. Then 2020, back to the 2020, when traveling with my parents, I remember driving somewhere, and they were just taking in the scene, and then it's like the Holy Spirit started showing me the idea and showing me it right there. And I just started building the idea, and and I loved it, and it was right in this specific location. I don't know if I'm supposed to share where, so I'm just going to keep it as a specific location. And I'm there just driving, and I'm just envisioning. They're watching and talking about something as well as kind of window. I can see exactly that I've envisioned and more just be built right there, where it could go right there near this specific highway. And I was like, I remember even sharing this with Ryan, and I think he reacted like it was a good idea. But anyways, and I was like, that's there, and it's always pretty like there. I was like, God, but there's this. It's a popular or a known location, right? Mind you, it's owned by a specific. I know who owns it. I don't know if they'll ever sell or if they're thinking of selling or anything of that. But point is, that's where God said. And I was like, okay, God, in the future, I'm thinking I gotta work hard. A lot of these things, I'm thinking I'll work hard. I didn't think God was like, no, I'm gonna stop everything and I'm going to provide it. I'm going to make it happen and make it happen my way. So I was like, okay, let's go back to the mindset I was before. Okay, there, okay. And to build a production company there, build the store. It'll be the amount of things, the mall, the strip, the things that it would bring that I plan to bring, it would be amazing. Something beautiful. Like, technically what I'm thinking of right now is kind of what built over time in my head of what God showed me. But then I knew where I could put. So then 2021 came, January, and we talk about how I found out I'm married, and God saying the visions I give you is me or whatever. And talk about husband. So I was like, okay, cool. But then by February now, God was kind of like redirecting, started focusing on other things. And by the end of February, it's like, no, let's rewind a little bit. 2020, November. I remember November, December. There's this Amaze competition or raffle that you could enter and you win a house in Florida or $1 million. I was like, I'll enter the free because you can enter to win it with a free entry. I was like, I enter to win, and if I win, I'll give to that charity after. Sorry, but I entered free because I feel like it was gambling, right? So I was like, God, can I please have it? And God's like, budget it for you. I mean, budget it. So I was like, $1 million. Okay, I'll budget it. And I was like, ooh, maybe I get it. I prayed. And so I was like, oh, cool. So in March now, early March, late September, I remember waking up it was a Friday evening, and I was talking to a friend that I always sometimes have biblical discussion and arguments with, and he was going off, and then he was like, wait, what did you do? You carry your girl again, or carry your path to me? And I remember mentioning before, but I was like, let me bring it back up. I'm going to be an actor. And he's like, really? Did you do these things to try and get into acting? And I was like, yeah, I'm literally doing these things, but not working out as well because of Sabbath or things that I prioritize, or religious restrictions, or just things that I would not compromise. And he's just like, what? You have to compromise something if you're going to make it in the industry. And I was like, I get it, but I'm not going to. So I'm going, even if you're going to take me a long while. But he's like, you have to do it the only way. And I was like, oh well. I'm fine. I trust God, and I'm going to make it. I don't need to compromise nothing. Then nothing that is going to go against my beliefs and priority, right? So it's like, oh well. And he's like, well, you're not going to make it. Oh well. I was like, oh well. Then the next morning, I was wake up on a Saturday morning, and I was like, hey God. God's like, hey, remember that $1 million? I was like, the $1 million, you're going to get it. Can I get it? Am I going to get it? And he's like, no, okay. Then I said no. He said, what if I gave you 2? I budgeted for the one, and I know exactly what I'm going to do with that one, so I don't need it. And extra, so I just give away the extra. Like, my parents, whoever I'll just give it away. I don't need it. I just need one. And the other, I give it away. You got. And God's like, okay. What if I did 5? I was like, that's a lot. Like, I don't need 5. I just need what? Budgeted. I was like, okay. So one would be for me, one would be for giveaway, one would be for business, one would be for this, and then tides, right? And I was like, yeah, that's, ow. And so I was like, yeah, I got. And then he's like, all right, giveaway. Who are you gonna give? I was like, oh, you want me from my parents to share or something like that. Something or a split I didn't have. Like $500,000 for my parents and then $500,000 for somebody. Point is, it's split up into who gets what, right? And so there was this one chunk that's giveaway. So I started listing some people. And I started listing names and putting the amount, and it's like, ooh, and then the Holy Spirit started saying, okay, add this person. Add this person, add this person, add this person, add this amount, add this person, add this amount, add this person, add this amount. I was like, and I keep going at this person, at this amount, at this person, until it's like, okay, God, it's passing the budget. Can you see? Because I made a spreadsheet. I didn't just do it. I made a spreadsheet. Because online spreadsheets are easier and you can see the total and the difference remaining, all right? So I made that, and it's not going over. God, it's going over the budget. He's like, just keep at it. I'm like, but he's going to, God. It's like, all right, fine. So I was like, okay. I kind of got excited. Then God was like, budget for the money you're getting from the government. I was like, yeah. I was delaying that because I was like, okay, you're not going to get the money from the government then. Because it's like, for some reason, my money could not work. The account was frozen and all kind of stuff. Until I budget for it, then everything got fixed. It's like, I don't know what's wrong, but here's the account. I was like, okay, God, I'll be there. So after I budgeted for the money I was getting from the government, I remember the next Sabbath morning, God woke me up again. I woke up and I was like, hey, God. And God was like, hey, what if I doubled it? I was like, 10 million? This can't be God. Because it's like, God just drop money like that. And I thought, like, in 5 minutes, maybe in a couple years, or I get this acting job in Canada, and that's the moment. All right, write a script, and that's the contract I get. Like, it could be with Netflix, so it could be possible. Think about it, It could be a Netflix. I can write something on Netflix, like, we love it, and we give you 5 million, Or my name is like the 10 million. I was like, hey, maybe you gotta go and do that in a couple of years. Okay, all right, fine. Because God was like, I am God. I was like, okay. 10 million. And he's like, budget it. I was like, okay. And I doubled everything in the budget. And then he's like, all right, add these people. So I started adding names. Then I was like, okay, God, because I'm thinking it's going to be like, a couple years. And I'm like, no. Then he's like, a vision. I got a vision of seeing the pastors. Now I'm following Transformation Church at Tulsa, Oklahoma more often. And at that time they're dealing with paper chasers and perpetrators. And I was vision of the head pastor, Michael Todd, being the one giving me 10 meals. I was like, what? But then, remember I said, it's no longer 10. So as this week carry on, started off, God was like, after he showed me where he's coming from, then tell me to pack, and then I was waiting in the living room. God's like, all right, wait. Then I moved from in the living room to my car. God's like, in 2 days, literally, in a day, one more day, then he'll come. And I was like, God, is it going to come? And then after a while, God's like, I'm going to do a funeral. I was like, what do you mean? So I keep asking, you're going to do a funeral. It's going to be more. I was like, more? So then I remember just kind of testing God. Cause I'm not waiting in the car and nothing else to do. I was like, God, if it's going to be 10 million, let certain things happen. Didn't happen. I was like, what am I wait for? You're not giving me no 10 million. I was like, it's going to be more. I was like, because he's going to do a pharaoh. If you don't understand what I mean. So when Moses was trying to get the Israelites out, and God's like, tell Pharaoh, let my people go. God hardened his heart, and God showed up, and literally, if Pharaoh was like, okay, go on, they would have gone. But the Israelites would not have gold, wouldn't be feared all over by the other nations. No. God's like, I'm going to do a Pharaoh. You know what I mean? God said, let my people go. And Pharaoh said, no. And then Moses said, all right, God, what do you want to do? And God said, all right, boom. Then God do the snake thing. And then Pharaoh's like, no, all right. Then he did plagues. And everybody in Egypt feared the Israelites. Either they joined them or they feared them. And literally, when they left Egypt, the Egyptians gave them their gold and silver as their leave. Feared gold, silver, crops, livestock, they did not leave empty-handed. They did not leave less than. They left abundant with not just abundance. They left with fear, and people revered. They didn't want to cross them so lightly. And even when Pharaoh came after them afterwards, God's like, all right, well, use that to give you armor for battle. So I was like, I didn't really fully understand the concept because I ready to hop in. But I was like, and I was like, okay, just watch me. And then I started seeing it. Like, God asked me to do something and nothing will. And then God's like, all right, the number is now 15. I was like, 15? I don't believe it. I didn't budget. I don't think I budgeted the 50. I think I did. But the point is, God was like, it's 15 now. Then God's like, okay, it's 21. God's like, okay, 25 million. I was like, all right. You go own him things. I was like, what? And that's where he left it at. In the sense of the value could increase or whatever. I don't know. But that's what God said. And I've been moving in faith, and I've not been, let me be clear, because people are like, yes, you're right, God. It's like, bruh. I've been at this for a long time. I've seen God show up and show out. I've seen God, whether it's vision he showed me 7 years ago, 8 years ago, happened in front of me, where God's like, do this, and then this happened, whether it's go sit here and someone came and provided food, or just wake up, go on the toilet, and I relieved myself, and then over the point where the Holy Spirit's like, all right, time to get up and go in the car. I get up and go in the car, right as I enter in the car, food is being handed to me, like the person didn't even, I was like, or things I just think of I need, or posts that I need, come from people who don't even read my posts. And it's not like they went out of the way to buy it. They're just like, oh, you might need this. I was like, that's exactly what I was like, bruh. I have learned, God taught me how to listen to his voice. Whether it's avoiding police because police are coming after me because of park where I'm parked, and the managers are like, or God's like, trust me, stay right here. Or I'm moving somewhere else. Or the fact I could stay in a specific complex for a good couple weeks, and it's the time God says it's time for you to move. That's when the person that was helping me and say I could stay there got an email from the owners to say, no, that card, you can't stay there. And that email could have been sent from weeks ago. God's like, no, not till I said it. Or I go to a different city where people don't even recognize me. Because there's one point where my car tires were replaced by somebody who recognized me by even the pants I was wearing. And he's like, yo, he's come here. I was like, I don't know he's come here. I come here from the cheaper gas station. It's closed or it's too late, I need gas. but you recognize me? He's like, yeah, and your eye. I was like, but that's just when you recognize. I've been in a different city. I've never spent time in like that. And somebody come to me and give me money like that. And I'm just telling them, I'm waiting. I got it like, okay, cool. And they're like, well, I think there was this. I was like, and I may not say it like that, but like 4 months. I'm still doing that now. Like, I'm at the last, in Canadian dollars, $10. Last dime left in my pocket. And every time I'm at the last, I'll be going into the town with like, I've been in the town where I only have enough for fare to go in the town, and I'll come back with money for more. Like, and people, for weeks, people have been saying, Danielle, you just need to start cooking. But it's like, oh, Spirit, like, I didn't say you should be cooking. You should be eating abundantly, wherever you want. Only cook when you feel like you want to cook. And the money keep coming. Like, I'm going to the town, I'm paying for patty and them kind of things there that use up money, and not cooking and those type of things that would save money. And God's like, I'm not telling you to save money. I'm not telling you to try and fix things. I'm the one providing. And every time I go there, there's money. And if it's not, that's this season. If it was before I was in the hospital, I'm getting food abundantly, whether or not I cook it or somebody else cook it for me, or I'm just buying and I don't know where the money's coming. Money just coming. Even when my birthday was coming, I was like, I don't know. I don't want something special, like something different. I don't want patty, even though patty's still not cheap. And money came more than I normally would expect. And when I tell you, God is out, because I'm hearing people who are going through their journey with God, and I don't even struggle half as much as they do. And they're trying to work and they're trying to do, and I'm just doing what God asked me, which is not to work or whatever. And I'm getting, but living life they're not living. How do I know all of this is God? Faith. And he has showed up and showed out and showed that it's me. As well as you can test the spirit. 2, the character of God. So after watching relationship goals and so on, I realized God's like, my priority is on marriage, as well as I've been showing you for years. I'm consistent and I never change. So why would God change now? And right through, God don't change. He might give me tests, some serious tests that may even put me in a point, or allow certain things to happen that put me in a point where I could like really just go the opposite. And I was like, I just you be obedient. Be obedient. I was like, okay. And too many coincidences for them not to be God. So you're saying, how do you know the voice in here is God? Bruh, faith, trust, and many times, even a lot of things that happen, God, Holy Spirit, and God does give me, and even if it's not the full picture, give me an idea. And by the time it happens, it's like, I'm not surprised because God already told me. It's like, bruh. And if it's not the full picture, I just had to have faith, and then boom. The fact that the way I'm living right now is ridiculous and don't make no sense. A lot of people like, Daniel, you don't make money. I was like, God, I was like, you just like eat, you just buy every day. I'm like, huh? But like, I don't even know how to explain to them. Like, God is telling me to live this kind of life to show that He is the one behind it, not me and my frugal living. Me frugal living in this time right now. God is like, no. I'm gonna make it even you can't cook. Go in a town, eat what you want. You want KFC today? You know what? Even you want a KFC a couple days ago. Watch this. Somebody come into the area and just give everybody KFC. I was like, look at God. I am not living this life. Not where I'm at because of me. And God has showed up and showed out. So I have to trust what He says. Trust what He's doing. And trust the process. And wait. So yeah, that's how I found out I'm going to be a millionaire.